Now, it's no secret that multiculturalism is our strength. When it comes to entertainment, what Hollywood has been producing recently and what Disney has been created recently has been severely lacking. Men and women aren't interested in the garbage that is being spewed up by people that lack creativity, that can only make sequels of pre-existing works and change them in order to fit their ideology. So multiculturalism, unironically, is our strength because now we can watch Japan. And it's no secret that the Japanese market has been dominating the Western market as of late. When it comes to comic books, manga is taking the lead. When it comes to anime, they're more popular than Disney movies. And they're selling. Everyone likes it. But not only that, when it comes to Hollywood, like, you got VTubers now that are more popular and more famous than Hollywood actors. I mean, you can go online, you can go on every Discord you want, and you can show them Shy Lily, and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is Shy Lily, or this is Gargura, or this is Amelia. But you show them like some random Hollywood actors, and unless it's like some old actors that people grew up with, no one knows who they are, no one knows their name. So, due to this, a lot of people in the West are absolutely fuming. They're livid because their money is at stake. And it's not just that, well, we can't use our entertainment in order to push our way of thinking onto the masses, but it's also like we're actually losing money. We're hemorrhaging. So, in order to do this, they're not trying to raise up the Western creations to rival that with the Japanese because they can't. They lack the creative people. They lack the vision in order to make something great. But what they can do is they can try to lower the anime to the common woke denominator, which is what the West is doing. And this is where the localizers come in. Right now, a lot of people think that a localizer is someone that actually speaks Japanese and does translations. That is wrong. A translator is a translator. A localizer is a localizer. Sometimes they can be one and the same, but very rarely. Usually you have the person that actually translates from Japanese to to English. And then the localizer looks at the already made English translation. And, you know, for instance, if you have Frieza calling Goku a dirty hairy monkey, they will be like, oh, you can't do that, that's offensive, we're going to write that Frieza is calling Goku a Trump MAGA supporter Chad. You know, like they're basically injecting their ideology into the translations, and they're upsetting a lot of people. And of course, the answer to that, like what many people said, well, it's like we can just bypass the translators, we can just go on the seven seas, or we can get fan translations. But we noticed that that's not going to be the case, because I've already said, it's like the Japanese studios, the animators, they want to make money, and they cannot make money if people go on the seven seas. The way they make money is to bottleneck their creations through these Western companies, through Funimation, through the couple of streaming services that exist in the West. And in order to do so, they have to abide by the terms of service of those companies. And usually, like, those terms of service can be like, oh, make sure how you depict black people, right? So no more Mr. Popos. Make sure about the themes that you cover. Like, do not cover themes of sexual nature. So I guess, like, no more Legacy of S.H.I.E.L.D. hero. No more Goblin Slayer. Be very careful with how you cover themes about various ethnical groups. So no more Attack on Titan. Like that is the problem, right? Like, you have to go through the bottleneck that stifles creativity by basically telling you these are themes that we just flat out don't want. And then you can look at Sony, and you can see what Sony is doing when it comes to sexualization, right? Like, The Last of Us 2, perfectly fine, right? Double standards. But when it comes to Stellar Blade, yeah, these costumes we don't like. When it comes to other anime games, we do not like this. One of the main censorship that's coming right now, from what I see, is that in the West, you used to have back in the days these comic books for teenagers with superheroes, right? So you had like the X-Men, and in the X-Men, like, all these teenage girls were studying at a school which was Professor's School of Mutants, and they were wearing skin-tight clothing. Like, they were showing sexuality because, like, teenagers want to see teenage superheroes doing cool stuff, and they're also interested in violence, and, like, they're exploring sexuality, so it's perfectly fine, but now the West is all about including LGBT themes, right? So, like, if it's an LGBT hero, it's praiseworthy, but when it's the male gaze in any shape or form, they hate it. And in order to get their foot in the door, they will say to an anime that does what X-Men used to do, like My Hero Academia, which is a safe-for-work anime. It doesn't have, an adult rating or anything like that. But it's about, like, superheroes learning how to do their superhero activities, how to juggle their personal life with that of superheroing, how they deal with romance, something for teenagers, basically. And what's interesting is that no one complains when Deku appears shirtless in the first episodes. And he is muscular, like, he's well-built, completely shirtless. And there's many other times when other male characters appear shirtless, like, it's perfectly fine, even though, well, they're underage, right? I think they're, like, 16 or 17 in the show. But when the show makes an episode where they have a beauty competition, and one of the female characters appears wearing cleavage with a dress, accusations of pedophilia against the show. Like, pressure on the Western companies to not air that episode. Right, so it's just like this mental illness, this disturbing ideology that is coming from the West, and it's just like one example of why many people don't agree with it. Like, again, this is not an adult show, like, it doesn't have any sex scenes in it. Like, there's more sex scenes in Baywatch, or in Beverly Hills, or American-produced things, Game of Thrones, which is fine, right? But, like, the moment they look at anime, they have these bizarre restrictions, and the bizarre restrictions are set in place not to protect the viewers from obscenity. They are set in place in order to get the studios to bend the knee, to get the studios to be like, hey, you want to avoid this type of controversy and pedophilia accusations? Well, why don't you hire our localizers instead? Like, pay our localizers money, and they will localize your anime, and you need to work closely with them, like, listen to what they say. It will start about making sure that the female characters are well represented, but then you also need to listen about the themes and the plot elements and everything else that the localizers have to say in order to make the anime more in line with what the West wants, more in line with what Disney wants, really, so that they can compete with it. And this is a concern that many people had. And unfortunately, it does seem that the bottleneck, which is the Western companies, is going to be solidified as we can see. Japan seeks international coordination to thwart online manga and anime piracy. And this is not just about, like, people downright downloading these things off the internet. It's also about people that used to buy the original product, like get it from somewhere legally, and then getting, like, some fan dubs or fan subs and applying it to that. That is also going to fall under this. And we have seen times in the past where the anime studio itself went after fan subs or fan dubs. They want what the localizers give them, right? Like, this is, like, legitimately a change in mentality. They definitely covet the localizers. Like some anime studios and some manga studios, indeed, they do want freedom of creativity, and they're actually shocked when they see what the localizers are doing to their work. But there are other companies and anime studios that genuinely want those localizers. Like, they want the woke localizers to tell them what they are doing, because they unironically believe these accusations. They believe that, well, if in a anime show that's shonen, designed specifically to cater to the teenage audience, like the same type of people that liked X-Men, if they say that it's inappropriate for a female character to star in a beauty competition and appear into a completely decent dress, like there was nothing degenerate or problematic about it, like no one was groping her or anything, like she just appeared in a dress, and apparently that's enough to give you accusations of pedophilia and sexualizing. It's like, okay, well, they don't want that, so they want the localizers now. And the localizers will make sure that the anime is in standards with the Western policy. Instead of having a beauty competition at school, you can have a kindergarten where a drag queen reads the story hour for the children. Like something appropriate for modern time that decent people enjoy. But, unironically, this is not looking good, and it's also in the era and in the age of AI, because a lot of people say, well, they tried it in the past. Yeah, but now the internet is a lot more centralized, there's a lot more bottlenecks, you got AI, and they want governments to get involved as well. So, I do think that anime, as time goes on, it will become more Disney-fied. But hopefully the South Koreans can pick up. Like, that's fine. We got South Korea, we got China, like, we got many other places that still produce works of entertainment. But at the end of the day, I do believe people are watching anime Not necessarily because anime is that amazing, because like 15 years ago, if you told someone about the anime, they'd be like, no, that's nonsense. Like, we got Western entertainment, which was unironically in many cases better. But now Western entertainment is so bad that by comparison, people are like, you know what, yeah, like anime is good. I'll watch anime. But if anime becomes bad as well, I mean, China makes entertainment, South Korea makes entertainment, they're going to have to pick up the torch. If worse comes to worse, there's also Bollywood. I mean, between a woke movie or a Bollywood movie, I would still prefer Bollywood. So, like, there are options, there are other opportunities out there. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.